Hello, my name is Hans. You might remember me from the earlier TestDrive Spotlight on the 2017 Chevrolet Cruze. I've since dropped my Swedish accent and taken up a British one. Every year since our introduction in 2009, Perpetual Radio has done a year in review. This year's no different. We'd like to go back and look at all of the great things that we did on TestDrive over the last year. So why don't you join me? We'll see all the great vehicles, the ones that sucked, and everything in between. So let's go down a trip on the 2017 TestDrive Year in Review. "2017 has been a huge year for us here at TestDrive. We drove 36 cars and produced 33 episodes of TestDrive Spotlight. 7 episodes of TestDrive Showdown were also produced, the most of which ended up being our most popular videos. It's clear to us that Showdown has the biggest potential for growth, and our goal is to work with the auto manufacturers and local enthusiasts this year in order to produce more episodes in this series. Over the last year though, we've really figured out what we wanted to do with this show. Our first test drive episode of 2017 was on the 2017 BMW X3 xDrive 28i, where we had the chance to introduce the car in a unique way. Our next video, on the 2013 Mercedes-Benz C300, was the first in a short partnership with Performance Mercedes, allowing us to drive some newer vehicles while working on our overall goals for the show. The 2003 E500 video we filmed started what has now become known as a TestDrive Spotlight. We had a warm open on the car, followed by our current test drive intro music. We covered the common features and controls, took it on the road test, and briefly talked about a couple of the common problems. But it wasn't until the Maserati video that came out the next week where we started to really incorporate a quick buyer's guide into our videos. From there, we continued to produce some episodes on newer Mercedes models and started reaching out to local enthusiast communities for cars. MB True North was the most responsive group who was excited to have their cars featured. We filmed our second showdown on the W220 S-Class and E38 7 Series, followed by a list of AMG models and some other classic Mercedes. So 4 days before we started our 800-kilometer journey, we filmed the 1988 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEL and the 1999 Mercedes-Benz C43 AMG, along with the 2000 BMW 750 IL. We also had the chance to film the 2004 Mercedes C32 AMG the next day, giving us a good few weeks of content during our move to Quebec. From there, we continued our production of Test Drive, featuring cars when we could. Some of them we hoped would be incredibly popular, like the 2011 C63 AMG or the 1976 Mercedes 280, while others, like our Mazda CX-5 versus BMW X3 Showdown, exploded in views. So how has our year been? Our top 3 most viewed videos were all episodes of Test Drive Showdown, with the E38 V12 versus V8 with over 264,000 views, followed by the CX-5 versus X3 at 187,000, and finally the S-Class versus 7 Series at 116,000. The most popular single review in a spotlight was the W126 560 SEL with 64,000 views, followed by the 2001 BMW 540i M Sport and the 2018 Mazda CX-9. The E38 Buyer's Guide we published in February is also one of our popular videos that we published this year. But what about the best and worst cars that we drove? Coming in at the worst, we'd tie it for the Chevrolet Cruze and the Maserati Spider. The Cruze felt cheap and slapped together, with poor interior trim quality and overall ride comfort. The Maserati drove like a broken down Ford Mustang and felt like sitting in a toaster oven. We drove a lot of fantastic cars though, and it almost feels unfair to pick one over so many great cars. But we did like one just a little bit more than the rest. You might be surprised, especially since very few people watched the video, but the car that I'd buy out of all 36 that we drove this year would be the 2013 Mercedes-Benz SL 550. Yes, I am an old man, and I love old man cars. The SL 550 is the absolute pinnacle of old man cars, but that doesn't matter to me. I had so much fun driving this car with the top down in the middle of February and loved getting tons of thumbs up during the drive. I know we've talked about how cars are more than just the badge on the front, but the SL 550 was really a lot of fun, and it's a car I would absolutely buy if I could budget it in. Finally, the most requested car that we've been asked to film by a long shot with over 85 unique people asking about it, is the W140 Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Now, I know we've been talking about it forever now, and it truly is the #1 car on our list to feature on Test Drive. We've tried to reach out to local Mercedes clubs here in Quebec, and even soliciting people who are selling their cars. It's unfortunate, but everybody that we've talked to wants us to pay them to feature their car, especially coming from people who are trying to sell them. We want to find somebody who wants the world to see their car, because it's part of being a car enthusiast, being able to share your love for something with others. We're not going to pay somebody for the privilege of helping them sell their car. So it might still take a while for us to get that S-Class on Test Drive, but we're hoping to make it happen soon. I just want to say that it's been a real privilege being able to produce this show and grow this channel and community over the past 2 years. 2017 has brought us some incredible episodes, long-lasting friendships, and a rapidly growing community. I know a lot of you enjoy the older vehicles we feature, but we've also had great success with the new ones. Test Drive will continue to expand and grow, and we promise to stay committed to featuring the older luxury cars you've come to love, along with getting access to new vehicles from the manufacturers. Thank you very much for watching our Test Drive 2017 Year in Review. From all of us here at Perpetual Radio, Happy New Year, and we can't wait to show you what we have in store for 2018.